Okay, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, well, there we go. Opening night, The Devil's Work, Mother Tongue. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd like to welcome to the stage the writer-director, Ursula Dabrowsky, and actors Cassandra Kane and Mark Fantasia, please.
Oh, we've got chairs.
You've got chairs.
Where are you sitting?
I'm going to sit here.
I'll sit
Alrighty. Wow. There you go.
Thanks everyone for sticking around.
Oh, your mic works. Mine doesn't, but I've got a big boomy voice, so it probably doesn't. Can you hear me? Yeah. For some reason, this mic's not working, but it's working. Okay. All right. Here we go. Awesome. All right. Well, look. Let's get things underway. Thank you so much for making the trip up from South Australia, by the way, as well. So that's awesome. Now, firstly, The Devil's Work is a part of a trilogy, a loose trilogy. Started with Family Demons in 2009, that world premiered here.
Yeah.
Then there was Inner Demon 2014, that also world premiered here.
Yep.
Now The Devil's Work.
Yeah.
How did this third film come about? What's the connection, if any, with the other two films?
Okay, all right. Hi everyone, I'm Ursula Dabrowsky, and the reason I made this movie was because I've been trying to get funded traditionally through film funding agencies here in Australia, and it was taking fucking forever. And I hadn't actually made a movie in a while, and Inner Demon, a lot of the crew I had worked with were not in the industry anymore, and I was thinking about who I was going to be working with next, and I was just kind of freaking out that I just didn't know who to work with, and I thought I'll make a movie just to keep sane, and this is what we did on a really, really ultra low budget, and I got a crew together, but really what ended up happening was the film that I was working on, I had actually approached David Lightfoot to produce it. He was one of the producers on Wolf Creek. And he actually passed away in 2021. And I don't know, it really hit me because I've been talking to him for 2 years, and I've known Dave since the 90s, and it hit me pretty hard. And then just all this thought, thinking about how life is short, and I hadn't made a movie in so long, I just decided, fuck it, I'm just gonna make something. And get my crew together, but the first thing I thought of was getting my two lead actors from Family Demons and Inner Demon. And the first person I rang was this woman, Cass, who was actually in my first horror film, Family Demons. She was the lead in that. And I basically 2 days after David died, I thought, I'm gonna make a movie. I wonder if Cass would be interested in being in it. And I rang her and she said yeah. So that's basically how it came about.
Mm. Now, I believe you shot it over 4 nights.
Yeah.
And obviously, the impression is that it, unfolds in real time, and that it unfolds in what it feels like a single, unbroken shot. But I know that you did it slyly with some fancy editing. But I want to pass it on to these guys and say, what was it like acting in something that's shot in such a way, with these long series of takes?
Yeah, go for it.
It was a great experience. I have a background in theatre acting, so I was quite reminiscent of doing theatrical shows because you don't get a chance. I mean, if you record tape, I think our longest one was 13 minutes. If you wreck it in minute 12, well, you're starting again from minute 0. So it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of hiding in corners and ducking behind mattresses and stuff that you don't see. And during the shoot, I know where the edits are, where the cuts are, and I can't see them in the movie. There's only one that I know for sure, and there's a change in cinematography, and I remember where that one happens and where we get in and get out of that shot. The rest of them I don't know. I think that's a testament to Max, who's sitting here in the audience somewhere.
Yeah.
The cinematography is spectacular, and the choreography, it's not just what we're doing. that you see, there's a choreography with everybody and where they moved our monitoring station for Ursula to monitor everything. I mean, at one point I remember you in a room closet and there's 4 people watching the screen as this thing's taking place. It's her house, by the way, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I knew it really well. Yeah.
Cassandra?
Yeah, the only thing I'd add is it was just kind of nice as an actor in the sense that you're shooting things in sequence, and so you kind of get this really lovely build and you're not kind of reconnecting with where you were 5 minutes ago, it's kind of, quite a luxury in that sense that you can kind of just go with it. So yeah, it was a great experience.
I mean, and an extension of that, because as you touched on, I mean, rehearsing for something like this, blocking it out with the DOP, with the lighting, I'm fascinated to sort of know, what kind of difficulties come up with that, and then at the same time, there must be some sweet spots as well in that way, in directing and having to kind of rehearse and choreograph something like this.
This entire experience just happened so quickly. Like, I don't know if anyone's heard of Noam Kroll, but he's an American blogger, and he had one blog where he encouraged people to make a feature film in 6 months. And that's pretty much what I did. Like, I decided in July of 2021 that I was going to be shooting by December, and seriously, it's a blur. Like, when I look at this movie, I just go, how do we freaking do this? The choreography was, we basically did one dress rehearsal. I know the house so well, so I'd written the screenplay knowing all of the locations and all that. We had one dress rehearsal, and Max came and we just blocked everything, and just whatever didn't work, we just tweaked on the day. And then we basically scheduled 4 nights, and we did, we did it in chapters, and so there was some pretty, we talked about how we were going to do transitions that were seamless and all of that. But it happened so incredibly quickly that in terms of discussing choreography in any great depth, we didn't. We just basically just had everyone there and just,
So in that sense, would it allow for much improvisation? Probably not.
No, it was pretty down to a T, a bit of an art in that sense, wasn't it?
Yeah. We knew it were going to be, but I think Ursula was selling herself short a little bit, because I remember between takes, so we'd shoot these long takes, and she'd see that something wasn't working, and I'm sure you guys in the cinema would have noticed that we controlled mood quite well through the movie, or at least she controlled mood through the movie, so it changes, suddenly it's sentimental, suddenly it's more suspenseful, and she figured that out during shooting. She goes, it's not working, you need to point the camera at this person a bit more, or we need to see this thing, and that happened. I remember that happening over all 4 nights, where we just subtly changed it, and we had to be on, we had to be doing our thing. So even though the camera's not pointed at us, it's in the movie. Does that make sense? And that's her seeing it and knowing, I've got a vision for what I want this film to be. It's sensational how it came out. Yeah.
But I guess also, like a lot of theatre, there would have definitely been, you would have been hitting your marks, as they say. There would have been certain points where you could not move beyond a certain point or whatever, because you were, if that didn't, it was going to upset a certain, the next section of shooting. Yeah.
Max, where are you, Max? Like, he was just friggin' amazing. Like, he just followed them around. There's uneven ground where, I live and stuff. Where are you, Max? Max,
Amazing work.
Amazing. It's like, I was freaking out because there's uneven ground, there's bricks, there's and he was just blah, 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 blah. Just, amazing, following the actors, and I just don't think you felt really, you just did your thing and followed. It was just, I did do the blocking, obviously there's, we did sort of work some things out, but a lot of the times it was just following the actors.
Yeah.
And
So tell me, where do you get your inspiration from? Were there any direct influences on you when you were making this film, reference points?
Well, I had one location, a few actors, and I just had to come up with a story that would have 2 women in it. So I just thought sisters, and at the moment this whole bad mother, sort of unloving, uncaring mothers is sort of kind of in the zeitgeist at the moment. I think there's more films that are actually looking at that, and So yeah, I was kind of like, thought I'd sort of give my sort of take on it. But it was really about having two female actors, and what I could do with that. Really, that started the whole story off.
What do you think makes horror so effective? And this is going out to you guys as well as actors. I mean, a film like this relies a lot on tension and suspense. Is that a given for horror?
I don't think so. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear me. I think my mic might be not working, but hopefully you guys can hear me okay. But I think certainly the script, but even just, that's the first time I've seen the film, I was just amazed by the sound. I just sort of thought, gosh, that really kind of had such an impact on how I felt through that film. So no, I don't think it's a given. I think it's an art for sure to kind of build that kind of tension. I don't know what you think. But.
Yeah, no, I agree. The sound composition score, it all lifts the movie. I remember the first sort of little rush that I saw that didn't have any of that in it, and they put some markers to give you an idea of what it was going to do. It's not at all the film you guys are seeing. That's what I know. Lucas said she's not coming. That's Lindy, by the way. I keep looking over my shoulder because we hammered to the back of the head. No, but I think mood is something that you create, especially in this movie. You create on set as well, and the house, the yard, it all had a mood. Maybe help shooting overnight, so 7 p.m. and filming till 5 a.m. But it definitely had a mood, right?
Yeah.
Well, we slept in it after we went. We had this luxe Airbnb, that jacuzzi and everything. We got to go there and relax, and poor Ursula stays back in the blood-covered murdered house.
No, look, the films that I make I'm not really into body count and gore, and that is, I like watching those kinds of films, but obviously this is a really ultra low budget, so we can't really do a lot of prosthetics. Not like Inner Demon, I had a bit more of a budget, so I could do prosthetics and things like that, which I love. But for this one, I was really relying more on character and creating an atmosphere of dread and suspense, and also for me, it's about just trying to be clever with your storytelling. This is a real slow burn, and I think that when I look at it, I've seen it a few times, sometimes you kind of want to hurry it up a bit sometimes. But, I keep forgetting that when people haven't seen it. They're wondering, what the fuck's going on with this Lindy chick? Like, what a weird, I could have called this the devil's fruitcake. She's so weird. Like, what's she going to do next? And it's very unexpected, sort of, how she turns out. So,
But we've got a little bit of time to maybe throw it out to the audience. Are there any questions from the audience here? Yep, Amelia in the front here.
Amazing, well done. Obviously the cinematographer was moving around like crazy. Was there a focus puller also?
Don't be intimidated. Great knowledge comes from humblest of origins.
Yeah, we've got I think we might be. We're meant to. Sorry, others, guys.
we'll see you guys at the bar.
We were meant to be given extra time. I do apologise for this. Yeah, it's on. Okay, there we go. Sorry.
Right,
Yeah.
sorry. So obviously your cinematographer was moving around like crazy. Did you have the focus puller and the people with the makeup with the blood and all that, just all behind the camera moving around like crazy as well?
Yeah.
Oh man.
We had them on, we had walkie-talkies, and I just basically go in now.
Sneak out.
Yes. Damn. Can we? Anyone else got another question?
Max, can I check? Did you have a focus puller, or were you pulling? You were pulling focus, right?
Yeah, you didn't have a focus.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. I mean, is that, for anyone that knows making movies, what he did, he's the star of the film, honestly. I don't know how he pulled it off.
Yeah.
Insane, wow. That's very impressive.
You crowdsourced, you crowdsourced this, and it obviously made it on a micro budget. Do you think the future for genre filmmaking is in micro budget? Because there appears to be no more kind of middle area budget anymore. There's either the super big budget or there's micro budget. Is that where you're going to kind of continue, because it's going to give you maintain the creative control that you have.
I really like making movies this way, obviously. You know, this is my my third ultra low budget feature, and I am gonna try to get funding because I like to, you know, like the reason I did 4 nights is because I wanted to pay people, and I could only afford 4 nights of crew and cast wages. So, you know, if I get a budget, I can have them for a bit longer and do a little bit more. So I work really well with constraints. If I'm given one location, 2 actors, I'll come up with something, you know, like that I could that actually fits whatever that is, and I'll get the right people. I've got to get the good actors, I got to get a good crew, and I got it with this thing, and I'm taking them with me now on my funded thing, hopefully, that I'm going to get some money in that way. That'll be a 4-week shoot. But in terms to answer your question, if I don't get money for that, I'm obsessed, okay? You know this. I love making movies. I like getting together with people and doing this, but I gotta pay them, and so I'm gonna have to try and find a way, like, hopefully, I'm selling it. I've already got interest. I've got buyers for this film, and it was also partly the residuals from my last film. So, you know, I've got a tiny little business going where I'm not making that much, but I could keep doing that. If I could keep making movies based on residuals from the films that I've sold, keep paying my actors, keep paying my crew, and if it ends up being a 1-week shoot or 2-week shoot, that's all I could do, fine. Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, I think an extension of that also is, you know, this is where the support and where you guys come in is supporting the genre film festivals that get to exhibit these films and support these filmmakers, and to kind of spread the word that these are the emerging filmmakers that need to get the support, that need to get the funding so they can move forward and have their films shown and get theatrical releases.
So it's always been like that.
And support the cinema experience, which is, you know, under constant threat at the moment anyway. You know.
But it's always been like that. It's always been independent. You know, I've just been doing it a lot longer than most people. Most people have had, like, you know, a big massive hit with their low budget, ultra low budget, and I've kind of not had that huge hit yet. But you know, I've got success in the sense that I'm selling them and making money. So I'm not sort of like, you know, doing like a Blair Witch or what's another ultra no budget that's blowing people out of the water. You know what I mean? Hey? Yeah, just all those that have just, you know, gone huge, and then they're given like all this money, and then they fuck that up, and then they never. Sorry, but you know, some people are made to make no budgets. Maybe Ursula is just no budget, ultra low budget queen or something. I'm happy to do that.
Well, yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you opening the
Thank
festival.
you.
And also, big props also
Yes,
to the supporting
I was
film.
gonna say, yes.
Glenn and Amelia's Short Mother Tongue, which was fantastic. It was awesome to see both these films. Let's give a huge round of applause, please. If we go out, the bar's still open. We can hang around in the mezzanine there for a while there. And then we've also got down at Kelly's upstairs. There's a side room up there. We've got that in about an hour reserved first. So if you want to hang around still from that, we can all move down there and continue carousing and you know, talking shit. But thank you so much for coming. We've got a bunch, of course, of amazing films for the rest of the weekend. Tomorrow we've got the Australian premiere of Puzzle Box, which is from Sydney side of Jack Dignan, which will be amazing with a Q&A, him and 3 of his actors there. Tomorrow night, an Austrian film, Mother Superior, from Marie Wolfsing. And then we've got films playing right through to Sunday night. We've got 2 more Australian features, Saving